Good morning. Good legal advice can cost you a whole lot of money. Well, today is your lucky day. Attorneys Edgar Baez with the Baez Law Firm, they are here. Melissa Salinas is also here. And we've been talking about this all week. We had our viewers submit questions for you guys, and you are going to answer them live on the show.
That's right.
They know, don't worry. I didn't just surprise them with that. So can we go ahead and get to the questions, and then we'll talk a little bit about your firm. Okay, first step, the first question we got was from Erica on Facebook, and this is for Melissa. Okay. My boyfriend and I bought a house together about 9 years ago. I moved out of the house 3 years ago due to relationship problems. The house is still under my name and his too. Do I still have any rights to the house, like to try to kick him out due to that I have the kids, or move back in?
Okay, that's a great question. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have similar problems or in similar situations. When people purchase property together, generally speaking, that usually will make them what's called tenants in common, and that means that they both have equal rights to the entire property. So what you need in a situation like this, where you both cannot use the property together any longer, is most likely a partition and maybe a sale and divide of the property.
But you both have ownership because you bought it together.
Right.
So one person can't just take the money and run.
Right, right. So you need to decide. What types of equity was in the home, and then possibly a sale and divide, or one party could buy the other party out of their interest.
Okay. That's another option. Okay, good stuff. Next question is for you, Mr. Edgar, and it's from Letty, and this is on Facebook. She says, is it right for a judge to take way more than half of your income for child support?
Wow. Letty, first of all, sorry that this is happening, but it is very common. The statute says the best interest of the child. A lot of people don't understand that, but in no circumstances should be more than 50%. So we have to go and see what was the judge thinking. There's ways that we can do that by asking the judge to reconsider, to remodify and whatnot. So this would be a great example that if she comes to the firm, we'll be able to help her more in detail. But yes, it's not very usual, but it can happen.
And a lot of people, I think, they feel that once the judge rules on something, that's it. But you always have opportunities to go back,
Absolutely.
correct?
One of the things in the law is that you have the opportunity to redress the issue that was presented for the court. So,
and you can help them do that
Absolutely.
at the Baez Law Firm.
Yes.
Okay, question number 3 is from Lisa. And Melissa, this one's for you. She says, my dad died and left no will or executor. Can the house be taken away from me?
Well, like a lot of questions in the law, the answer is going to be that depends. We really, in this type of situation, need you to come into the firm, and we'd have to kind of lay out what type of heirs your father left behind. Because if you have siblings, for instance, if he left behind a wife, different people have different interests in his property. So when somebody passes, their assets and their debts need to go through the probate system.
Okay. But they would need to come to see you just so you can do all the research and find out.
Right. So when somebody passes without a will, then it's called passing intestate, and the assets are divided according to the code. And it's a little bit complicated, and it really needs to be tailored to that specific family.
Got it. Okay, our next question is from Natalie, and this is for you, Edgar. If I get hurt at work, I guess someone was hit on the head, possibly had a concussion, does the company have to cover me if I have to go to the hospital to get checked out? And if I can't go back to work, do they have to pay me through workers' compensation? Generally, what are my rights?
Not only does she have 2 questions, but there's 2 separate legal issues. See, morally and legally, there are 2 different things. A company should provide for the employee, especially if they get hurt at work, but not all companies are subscribers to workers' comp. So again, there's a difference between what is legal and what is the right thing to do. In this particular case, unless we know whether the company is a subscriber, to answer whether they're entitled, it doesn't make any sense. So again, it should be the right thing to do, but not all works or companies are required by law to be subscribers.
Is that a question she can ask her employer? I mean, how can she find that information out?
If they are subscribers, then yes, absolutely. The employer should be presenting that to the workers' compensation, and there's a process by which they go about that. So yes.
Okay. But again, you can always go and see
Absolutely.
the wonderful attorneys at the Baez Law Firm, and they can help you figure it all out. And finally, our last question is from Michael, and he says, how is child custody determined? I know this is a short question, but my goodness, this could be a really long answer, couldn't it?
It could certainly be a very long answer. Michael, like Mr. Baez was saying earlier, child custody is determined according to the best interest of the child, and that's really a very general answer. But for example, the courts would presume that it's in the best interest of the child to maintain a healthy relationship with both parents. So that's kind of a starting point for how child custody is determined. And there's also what's called a standard visitation order, and that would also be a starting point. And that's where you see parents where one child has a primary residence with one parent, and then they have a standard visitation order where the other parent sees the child first, third, and fifth weekends, Thursday evenings, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, thank you both so very much for being here. And really quickly, if you could tell us at the Baez Law Firm what areas you cover and what can people come and see you for?
Sure. We cover personal injury, family law, and criminal law. We also dabble into civil law, actually. That's one of the areas of Ms. Salinas. But what we have is that we have a team approach to legal issues. We don't just have one attorney, we have four. And we have different paralegals and different case managers and whatnot. So everything that we do in our firm is a team approach, and that's what's beneficial for our clients.
And you are a magnificent team. There's the information right there. The Baez Law Firm. Call them. Go by and see them. Log on to their website. The phone number 979-9777. Website thebaezlawfirm.com. And we have a giveaway right now for our 9th and 10th callers. Edgar, tell them what they're going to get.
They're going to get a 50% off their legal fees. So if they have, especially right now during the holiday season, we say, you know what, why not? If there's a family law issue, a criminal law issue, they can apply that towards their legal fees. 50%
Beautiful.
off.
Thank you both so much for being here. And we'll be right back after the break.